Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Holy cow, this is awesome news. 100K plus for Bitcoin. Awesome stuff. Wicked all the way up to 104,630. That is phenomenal. I like that candle wick because we had to take profit target somewhere in that range. We hit 68% from SUI in 7 days, 52% in 17 hours, and there it is. 60% in 5 days for our Bitcoin long. So again, held strong. That descending broadening wedge pattern broke out pretty nice. Keep in mind, the price didn't take off because of that. That's just simply a way to identify a potential breakout because we still had some confirming factors. All right. Again, this isn't I told you so by any stretch, but it is, it's one of those situations where we closed above 96,500 and the price continued higher. Technically, it continued higher even before that happened with some good, some good speech, or people received JP's speech pretty well, Jerome Powell. So a lot of positivity there that just kind of pushed the price action up here into like a type of ascending channel, and the price just continued higher up. Okay, so again, great stuff. Awesome stuff. Let's take a quick look at the back-end data here and just double check a few key factors with Bitcoin, because now that all the liquidation levels to the upside have been swept, at least the more immediate ones, we want to see what's going on next here. So the last 7 days here, we can kind of see, obviously we had that resistance at 99 to 101,000. All that's taken care of. This lower range at 93.5 is still present. Of course, those are some longs there. But for the most part here locally, we can see 105,000 and 105.4. So we can round up and just say 105, 105.5. Those are two areas in which we're seeing a decent amount of short, heavy liquidation levels. And those are either medium to high leverage, likely, and those are just probably a pretty big position. Okay, generally speaking, that's what you see there. When we look at the macro too, same scenario, 99 to 101, roughly got swept there. A majority of extra, 102 to 104 did too, but if we look here, we can see 107, 106, and again that 105. So for the most part, it would probably be safe to presume if the price were to return back up to that 104 range, that 105 to 105.5 would be the next target. Okay, so just kind of throwing it out there. Now at this point here, liquidation delta, this is way high, but let's talk about this here for a little bit. We can see liquidation delta, even though it's tapering off a little bit, it's at 25 billion at its highest. Probably closer to about 20 to 18 billion right now. And what this is telling us is just that there's way more longs than shorts. Obviously, we know that, we can see that. And this delta here, when we saw the price run from 74,000 to like 90,000, the liquidation delta was in a similar circumstance. It hit 25 billion, I think almost actually 30 to 32 billion at its highest point. And it turned around, it ended up pulling back a little bit because people eventually sold and took profits. Right now, it's still too early. People are expecting the price to continue to go higher. They're keeping their positions open. So generally speaking, it's best not to try to short into this, okay? You're better off trying to take a long at 100,000 or 99,000 if it pulls back that far versus the other way around. And the main reason why is because this is new liquidation levels. This old. And what I mean by that is just that when this runs its course, in other words, we see that level too high for too long, then it's usually cause for consideration for the price action to pull back. But right now, you'd be foolhardy to try to short Bitcoin. While, of course, I'm sure there's people out there right now that you've probably seen on social media shorting from 104 to the current price point. They got lucky because you don't just they probably just kept shorting until they got it right, and then that's what they're sharing with you. Again, you're not supposed to short into a bullish trend. It just doesn't make any sense. So heads up on that. Again, careful who you follow. Same goes for me too. Obviously, I want you to make sure to do your own due diligence. Watch before you join, and make sure that you know what you're doing. But we do have a Trading Academy community and signals group. All those profits I shared with you yesterday or today from yesterday is obviously what our community is doing together. So it's awesome stuff. However, any way you look at it, those are safe conservative trades. Right now, when we look at open interest, we can recognize 102.3 as low as 100 even. So big surprise, 100,000. We have the largest amount of open interest. So that's going to reaffirm itself as a support here soon. There's a strong likelihood we're going to see 100,000 retested. That's just my personal thoughts. Because again, anytime you break through an all-time high, it's commonly retested before it takes off again. So in a perfect world, which we don't live in, the price goes up here, comes back down, and then continues higher after a period of consolidation. Or, knowing Bitcoin, it wicks down and just keeps going. I'm not proposing we're going to see 300,000 this year, right? Just saying that in general, now that we've broken through that threshold, we got to give it a chance to become a support level. If it holds, then we're probably pretty good. Another option too, just keep this in mind, market makers are very good at faking people out. The price action could come down here to 100,000, wick down to like 97, 98, get a bunch of people to start shorting, and then come right back up. Okay, it's really, really common for that to happen. We saw that same thing happen back in the 90s and the 70K range just before the price took off and didn't look back. Anyways, daily time frame, we're going to see fully bullish scenarios here. There's nothing on the daily time frame that's going to like tell us that we're seeing some kind of divergence. Okay, if somebody's telling you that, they're full of crap, they don't know what they're doing. Again, the main reason why I say that is just simply put, everything on the daily time frame is going to look bullish because we just had a monumental increase in volume and increase in price. Now, granted, we haven't passed 70 on the RSI officially yet. You could say that that's a resistance. That is one thing. But MACD, stochastic, we're seeing a second stochastic swing to the upside here for the RSI on the daily. That's super huge. Again, second stochastic swing, folks, it carries more weight because you're retesting a support or resistance level multiple times and inevitably breaks or gives through. Okay, so in this case, that's kind of what we saw there, that retest, that 94.5. Or sorry, 94.7 from yesterday. That was that support level that held. All the more reason why we didn't close our long position, get shaken out, because once again, we had a descending broadening wedge pattern, and smaller time frames were identifying a shift in momentum. 4-hour time frame we can see here. Stochastic's pulling back, RSI is tapering off. This is all natural capitulation for the circumstances here. So what I want you to do is to not really lean towards taking a short position because it's just inherently more risky, and B, shorting into an uptrend just makes no sense. I mean, you're literally walking into oncoming traffic if you do that. Well, again, you'll find some success. You could be, the coolest person ever. Everyone just moves around you, but you're going to find a lot more difficulties doing so. So at this point, it makes a lot more sense to consider long versus a short. Good consideration for longs, of course, is previous high. And of course, we can also recognize a few other things too, which I'll draw on the charts as well when I post my playout chart here on social media. So again, future reference, Twitter, Telegram, Discord, I post playout charts here, just kind of give you indications. For example, SUI, Cowput handle pattern, took off. It's now at 420. Okay, so awesome stuff. We took that trade as well. Again, I like to highlight those things because you got to understand that chart patterns are beneficial, but they're only reaffirming the overall circumstance here. And right now, leading into today, if you saw my analysis from yesterday, you'll recognize that still mostly bullish, pending we didn't get rejected out at that 96.5 local resistance, which was at 0.65, 0.618 golden pocket. Okay. Anyways, summary here: the 4-hour time frame is mostly bullish. We're over every single moving average, which we are doing well here as well on the RSI, under 70, above 50. Even though it's pulling back, this is a very natural pullback. We look at the hourly; it's going to confirm the same exact thing. Again, everything is telling us do not short this coin. I don't care if it's down by 2.5–3%, and you feel like you missed out on an opportunity to short the top. You don't just short a top because it's a top, folks. That's not how trading works. Okay, you've seen it work sometimes. You've probably done it yourself to a limited amount of success, and then you think that that's how it works. It's not how it works. It's not how trading is. Get over it. Okay. Anyways, I teach a lot of that in my trading university. Maybe not exactly that, but I recommend you watch through that if you're new to our community. We've got a lot of new members coming over. Same thing with with our YouTube as well. Great amount of new followers as well. So really appreciate that. And again, always hit that like button, folks, too. It really helps grow the channel, gets us in front of more people, helps prevent them from getting destroyed by moon boys. Which again, a moon boy probably would have been right about this, but that was likely just based on on ignorance versus actually truly understanding what they're looking at. Anyways, the conversation for another day. I could go all day about that, but for the most part here, Bitcoin, there's no point in shorting. Once again, I'll post a playout chart here soon, but the easy way to understand it is that the local high, the most recent high, all-time high, 99.7 as a rough estimate. That 99.7 to 100,000 even is going to be an area of consideration for a long. Again, it's reaffirmed here with open interest, 100,000 even. That's the heaviest concentration of purchasing power we've seen in the last 7 days. So that reaffirms that support. So me personally, it would just seem logical to consider a long at 100,000. Okay, but once more, if you use high leverage at 100,000, you're probably going to be, you're going to be sad in all likelihood, because even though it should likely pivot and bounce, market makers are very uncanny, and they will absolutely shake out the weak hands or the high liquidation levels, and then they just return fire. It's exactly what they've been doing this entire time with this chopped salad in that descending trend. Okay. We held strong as a community. I hope you did too, and congrats again on some awesome profit. Last but not least, Bitunix folks, $12,000 deposit bonus this month. Check them out. They're excellent. No KYC or VPN required. All you have to do is use my link to register. Last but not least would be, of course, just joining us over on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord so you can follow along with my my playout charts. All right, folks, have a great rest of your day. Look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.